Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. This is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining. Let's talk about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. But before I get to that, I would like to give you guys a little bit of announcements. Tomorrow is September the 30th, and tomorrow is the birthday of whose house? That's right, Swerve's house is tomorrow's day. So, whose day? Swerve's day. Tomorrow, I will give you my top 10 favorite matches of Swerve Strickland, former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. But for tonight, let's talk about um, Monday Night Raw. Also, one more announcement. As one of my greatest supporters, C Nation Dog, is currently looking for unpopular opinions in WWE history. More so, unpopular opinions as wrestling fans. So, if you get a minute, ladies and gentlemen, please head over to C Nation Dog's channel to check it out and give your thoughts in his community posts on some of the most unpopular opinions that wrestling fans have. You probably have an unpopular opinion yourself, so be sure to let him know. That being said, let's talk about Raw. Tonight we opened up the show with Rhea Ripley, who is angry. We have Io Sky saying, hey, I know you want to fight the Kabuki Warriors, but they're still my family. It's crazy how sometimes you have friends that are abusive and yet you'll still try to cover them because they're all the friends you have. It's that kind of stuff. Usually that's the type of stuff you see in abusive relationships where a person will do their best to cover someone even when they're abusive to them. So that's toxic loyalty 101. However, the Kabuki Warriors attacked Rhea Ripley as Io Sky was preparing to walk away. Then Io came to make the save in the sense of trying to get them to calm down. Of course, they turned on her, and now Io Sky has green mist all over her face. And for those of you who have been following social media lately, you know that Rhea Ripley has been the butt of everyone's jokes about having a blue face like Avatar. And in many cases, she has been put in the memes of being a goth smurf. For those of you who have seen the cartoon movie The Smurfs, this is having Rhea Ripley as a goth smurf if you look on social media. In the wake of all of that, we also saw Io Sky in the back getting tended to by nurses. However, Kairi Sane tried to calm the situation down and try to convince her to apologize to Io. No, to Asuka. Io wasn't having it and told Kairi, walk away, leave me alone. And so, with that being said, there will be a tag team match at Crown Jewel in Australia, and it will feature the Kabuki Warriors versus Io and Rhea Ripley, which I believe is going to be a spectacular match. And speaking of friendships, Cody thinks that Seth Rollins was actually a friend, but Seth confirmed tonight that he was never Cody's friend. And as far as Seth was concerned, Cody was two lesser of evils when Seth Rollins decided to help Cody at WrestleMania 40 nearly 2 years ago, and one of the greatest WrestleMania main events ever. One of the greatest WrestleMania main events. But I will say this, though I am rooting for Cody Rhodes, something tells me that Seth is going over, and this will be his redemption match, in my personal opinion. Kayfabe-wise, I'm rooting for Cody, but I have a feeling this is Seth Rollins' night, if I may be honest. If we're also talking, let's move forward. Congratulations to AJ Styles and Dragon Lee for getting the victory over the Lucha Libre Americano counterfeits, whoever is behind that mess. We know that Ludwig Kaiser, the leader, is the main guy, although no one will admit it. He's the main guy. But congratulations, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I am looking forward to AJ Styles versus John Cena at Clash at Perth, Australia, or as the event is called, excuse me, Crown Jewel. AJ Styles said he loves to beat up John Cena, but let's see what happens. Bayley continues to be a little bit imbalanced in her mind, but the imbalance is working well because she was able to succeed. No, did she succeed? No, because she did not succeed because thanks to Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria lost to Raquel, who looked very spicy in latex red, like Britney Spears, an attire that was inspired by her best friend, Liv Morgan. However, after the ambush of Roxanne and Raquel, Bayley made the save and switched into heel mode, but used it as a babyface mode. So I'm very curious to see how that works out. We have the New Day being New Day and getting their butts kicked by LA Knight. Yeah. In tonight's main event, we saw the Usos have a rematch with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, PB&J Security, with the return of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Wasn't expecting him tonight at all, but that's what makes it so special. The OTC is back and will stand with his family. Now, he even had words of encouragement for Jey Uso, but I'm very concerned about Jimmy Uso, and I hope Jimmy doesn't turn on the family. The bloodline, especially the original bloodline, is all they have left, and that's all we as fans have left. Don't break up our favorite alliance. Come on now. But in any event, let me know in the comment section below, what did you think about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw? I'm your host, Dan Cody, and that's all the time I have for you today. Be sure to check me out tomorrow for Swerve Strickland and my top 10 favorite matches of him, as well as go over to C Nation Dog and go to his community tab and list what you think are some of the most unpopular opinions of wrestling fans. And until then, I will see you guys later. Be safe. Say no to drugs.